I believe we are back and live. Players are still getting their warm-ups in. Players and top 16 starting for today will be allotted 2 warm-ups maximum allowed, up to their preference to kind of like really get a feel for the pads and find their way through these charts.
So this is day 2, and as the commentators are starting to mention right off the bat, they want everybody to play 2 songs just so you can get an idea of what's going on. These are going to be head-to-heads, so you have a lot more opportunity to try and get a hold of what your opponent is bad at and try and get that in. Take a look at what the opponent is good at, try and avoid all of that. This is a pretty tough draw for Jem, as he's managed to run into me immediately.
In case you didn't get enough of it last night in round 3, pool 3B.
When the 2 pools combined, there was a little bit of some weirdness about where everybody went in the bracket.
In these round 1 card draws,
so this is actually the first song that I did. I literally just set up, turned on the machine, and played Mission Possible.
So there is a total of 11 charts being drawn, and it's 3 singles in the 21 to 22 range.
But yeah, where everybody landed in the bracket was a little bit weird, so round 1 and 2 looked very, very strange and featured some really high-level matches almost immediately. So unfortunately, Jem had to run to me straight out at the round of 16.
They're like, oh my god, I know my opponent is better at me than this. They can ban up to 2 charts each, and then they go through a round of protects. Each player protects 1 chart. So if the lower seed would have protected,
considering I haven't practiced it in a long time, that's not the worst mission possible. I really shouldn't have misses on it, but that's fine. That's totally my fault. I am a little bit out of shape. I did used to play it on Rush 110 as a warm-up song, so it's interesting to have it come out and be, you know, something that I use to get back moving very quickly on a pad that I haven't done anything with. We've all waited overnight as well, so everybody's had an opportunity to rest a little bit since those previous rounds.
Ooh, Skeptic D22.
Yeah, I just gave a brief overview of all the shenanigans that is going to be coming up. Kind of an overview.
We're going to play slightly harder charts now. It includes a lot of 22s.
I'm really excited. There's so many great competitors here today.
Generally, my strategy was to try not to play single with anybody. Shouldn't be any surprise that I think everybody is stronger than me at single, including Jem. If I had to play him at mid to high level single, I think he's going to eventually win, and I don't want to give him opportunities for that. They changed this chart. Sorry, I didn't look at this chart before.
You don't really get to experiment with too much when you're just at the arcade by yourself, but it adds this whole new layer of complexity and competitiveness in how you're strategic.
I haven't seen the... Okay, the freezes are still there.
For your own card, but also knowing, oh, what are my opponent's strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, what are their preferences?
And those are still timed weird.
Depending on if you're the first or second protect, like maybe they'll make a decision that's favorable for me. Like,
ooh, he does that only with his right foot.
Anyway, so kind of saves one for yourself.
Right, yeah. So you have to really pick your battles, be very, very careful about your picks and bans. There could be a chart that you think both of you are bad at. Like maybe you think you're both are more foot speed heavy players, but you're worse at something like Final Edition 2X D24. Maybe you veto it just, you know, to compensate. You know, one player may be better than the other, even though both are bad at it. It's all relative.
It's very important to spectate your opponent's matches so you kind of see how they're trending that specific day. Like, oh, this person's struggling particularly on these patterns, so I'm going to try to...
I think one uses JellySlosh. I couldn't tell you who the other one is. I suspect it might be Tusa again. If I'm missing someone on commentary, I apologize. I definitely appreciate people volunteering. Those jobs get ignored a lot, but they're very important to make a tournament run the best that it can for the audience.
There are just so many factors that are so different than just playing at your normal arcade or home cabinet, whatever setup you may be playing on yourself.
You'll see me do this a few times in the warm-ups. I wanted to do something that was going to slowly get faster. so I ended up picking Chaos again, even though I've only played this chart maybe once.
Tournaments in more recent times, I think when there's more capability.
I know generally how it goes, but I've actually put more effort into the higher level of this.
The worst is.
But at the very least, I know it'll let me do a little bit of running as I'm going to start directly into Skeptic as soon as this is over.
Find where I want to be for these paths, so.
Or as the kids say, to lock in.
To lock in.
Yeah. But also, a big thing that's changed too this year is we're utilizing more of Saturday and Sunday together versus trying to cram the tournament into a single day.
Pick off 2 bads here at the end. I don't remember where I got a miss. I don't remember seeing a miss, but
3 rounds.
Very happy with that score.
A bit of a different format than sort of the standard waterfall that's been in recent years, or just big old
just go straight through it. Very happy with that score. Like I said, I've only played it maybe once or twice.
Yeah, it's a crazy. We're only on day 2 and we're in top 16.
But having now finished 2 songs, we're going to have to go into it. It is going to be directly
the main division yesterday.
Skeptic
to,
D22.
Get to the first 3 rounds, which was very international style play with the gauntlet format.
Yeah.
But very different in that 25.
I do that every time. I don't know why they changed it so it starts on double 17 or whatever the hell. It's very silly.
It makes sense when it's single elimination versus this kind of redemption round sort of format. So.
And then a very intentional decision by the TO was to have songs not repeat during multiple pools. You're not hearing the same song for
you don't hear
6 hours.
For 6 hours, yes.
But it looks like players are.
Yeah, they want to throw shade at the really big international tournaments, but in fairness, those have 500 players, so there's only so much you can do about it.
At this level of play, players are very micromanaging their BPM. They know 0.1 BPM difference. Sarcasm, I promise.
For a minute, I wasn't actually sure if he was being serious.
Maybe
oh my goodness.
Difference in that 0.1 BPM.
It's really important because if it's off by a little bit, by the time you get to the end of the song,
this has a 0.01 on it, doesn't it? Oh, it has a 0.1.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, guys. Here we go. Skeptic D22 to start us in our winners round 1 between jboy and Jem. Very crucial drill here. If you get off, you're going to get a lot of bads. Both players make it.
I have a tendency to rush drills, so I remember very specifically wanting to make sure
not a problem yet until we get towards the end of the chart.
Not to pick up greats there, as I don't really know Jem's current level. The last time that I played him had been a few years before this, so I was somewhat worried that maybe he was better than I remembered and I was going to need every great that I could get. Fortunately, I am very good when I'm in my comfort zone.
Very, very solid performance by both.
As long as I'm staying in control, everything is
not a danger for either player until we get to this end round.
Very good.
As long as they can make it comboing well through these parts. We see some drops by Jem on these kind of like tricky double step sections.
Yeah, really watch out for these wide free steps too. Make sure you don't drop any of them.
I wonder if it's just kind of like a difference in pad sensitivity preference. Like perhaps the pads that he plays on in his zone are a little bit different. These twists giving a little bit of trouble, but doing a great job comboing through. Finds it to the end of the chart. jboy looking very, very controlled. A lot of
I don't know why I let that get away from me. That's awkward. The very last one there. I thought the song was over. I forgot there was still one more set of so I reacted really late and got one last great. Regardless, fine. The 2 misses are sloppy. I shouldn't have those, but it's good enough. It's going to keep me alive here.
Just a little more errors on their end.
Yeah, also. And the misses especially, just it's a big mental burner, I would say.
Not really going to worry about singular greats.
But I think Jem was probably a little disappointed about.
I'm not happy with them, but it's not a huge concern.
Just a little bit of trip ups
but
on those
giving off anything worse than greats, I'm always going to be frustrated at if I'm supposed to be doing better.
The player 2 side to start that run, Just wasn't able to find
as they mentioned on commentary a little while ago, I'm up 1-0. If Jem wins this, we go to a third song, which is going to be Sudden Appearance Image again.
Definitely a chance to make a comeback here.
Jem also celebrated when that was left as the final song, so apparently he had some kind of plan for it.
We are seeing Vanya here.
I couldn't imagine someone intentionally wanting that unless they were just a very specific,
This would definitely be their chart.
you know, like song specialist on that particularly. Unfortunately for everyone, this is right in my wheelhouse. I've played this a lot. I have PG'd this quite a lot.
Both are old school players.
I really like this chart.
Although it's very interesting, neither of them have a score on their personal cards on this song.
Very true.
Yeah, that just means we haven't played it on Phoenix. I promise you both of us have played this a significant amount in the past. At least I'm sure I have, and I'm relatively confident Jem has. It also helps that I am kind of a little bit out of shape, and this is a short song.
Another interesting one to point out is that Jem plays on Freedom without the target arrows.
It's an interesting choice. It's one of those things I consider because I think it can kind of like reset where you think the top of the screen is, which can maybe help you reduce your break count. Or maybe for some players it also just reduces.
Still important, even though the combo isn't as important. Those triple freezes right there are in an awkward place, and if you don't remember where they are, it's very easy to drop them, and I think that actually did catch Jem just now.
Both players do a great job catching that gimmick. If you're not ready for it, it can be easy to accidentally tap it early.
I really like this
So I give you
song.
a small warning before it speeds up again.
Slight warning, yes.
Okay, let's do some running.
Very tough rhythms to time. They're having to jump into the plans immediately.
Excellent runs here. You really have to hit these. This is where the chart shines. Outer twist there. Picking up a miss and some greats and a bad on both sides. jboy hitting that outer twist on player 2 side. Hits the run across. Over to player 2 to finish it out. Strong performance by both.
Literally looking at myself like panting at the end of a 22. But
wow,
had a very strong score.
1-1-1 breakdown by jboy on this chart. Superb.
I saw the great right at the beginning of the first run, and I actually just in my head went, no, absolutely not. Keep it together. Very happy to blast through the rest of this. So that is going to be a 2-0 over Jem in round 1. Putting me through to winner's side top 16. Like I say, some weirdness with the bracket when both sides went together, and it caused a lot of strange things in rounds 1 and 2. So, we'll see where that gets me next.